Welcome back to Watkins Glen. We've just got one more race, but it's a cracker coming up in a moment, and it's the International GTs as we welcome you back to our full Speed Tour weekend here of US Vintage Grand Prix at Watkins Glen. And this is a regular date in September for Watkins Glen. Pretty much the last of the season because it gets pretty cold up here. Just on the border of Canada.
Look at that field of cars. An International GT does not disappoint. We're always going to have some good races. We saw a great race there from Mark Mathis. That's him there.
Yeah,
I think he's
this morning, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's running a little bit with Mike Skeen, or Mike Skeen's doing some coaching.
I talked to Mike.
Quinn.
He's doing the enduro stuff tomorrow,
okay.
I think.
Cool.
So yeah, that's
you
why he's on.
can't miss that car.
No, you can't.
Visit put-in-bay.org.
And this is a combination, International GTs, if you're not familiar, of, well, as we look at the McLaren, but it's a combination of Porsches and Ferraris, basically GT3 cars.
That looks like Kyle Hogan, and I need to apologize. I kept calling him Paul Hogan. Then I corrected myself to Patrick Hogan. Then his dad, Patrick, came to me in street clothes during the race and said, Kyle's in the car. And it's spelled like Keel, but pronounced Kyle.
Kyle, yeah.
So I'm going to get this right.
And that's a former Kevin Estrie, the Frenchman, one of the top racing drivers in WEC at the moment. And that's a former McLaren of his that he took to great heights. And so a very special and highly worth car, I'm sure.
Got some marks there on David Tuati. You can see the Band-Aid. Geronimo Guzman.
Yeah, now Geronimo had a problem, pulled out of the first race this morning. Just literally pulled out of the way and parked it, and I don't know what the problem was. Hopefully Ken Fangler will be up here fairly soon to tell us why, because he'll probably have found out.
International GT. Smoky lens there, Tony.
Yeah,
our camera guys, I like these. I like the shots we're getting.
He's
camera
clearly
guys.
not using his own camera, I don't think.
I think the camera guy's medicine is worn out. They're just going for it. I love it.
So last race of the day, and it's a cracker. Look at these beautiful cars. A bit more modern era this, but this is International GT. Their second and final race of the weekend. I don't think they're in action tomorrow, are they?
Rude drivers. She keeps waving. None of them are waving back.
Oh, they are.
Now she is splitting the cars, making sure they get into the right lanes, the correct lanes for their racing. Modern GT cars. We've got the Stuttgart Cup, which are the Caymans. We've got the Mission Foods Cup, which are the man, she's got to be quick on her feet.
I know, it's like I said, it's a precarious job this.
Man. Yeah, she needs a helmet.
She's got one.
Let's go through the field here.
Okay.
Tom Pank starting in first in the number 42. Todd Sloan, 2015 Porsche GT3. Todd Sloan's really turning it up. Mark Mathis, Kyle Hogan in that McLaren, David Tuati in that number 68, Juan Gonzalez in that Mission Foods car. Juan Gonzalez from Mission Foods. I think about my buddy Juan Gonzalez every Taco Tuesday. Lucas Pank in the number 40, Jody Miller and Pippa Mann, the Pippa Mann. Darius Trinka, who did really well in his 3.6 in that last race, 2007. Geronimo Guzman, that's whose car we're in right at the moment. Ed Baus, Bob Wyson in the number 27 and 12th. Jeffrey Freeman, he's got the Hertz logo on his car. You'll see him all the way out from Seattle, I believe. Charles Bilardo, Steve Katz in 15th, Michael Saya in 16th, Rick Ioria in 17th, Brian Cercerly in 18th, James Hammond, Roland Viet in that Ferrari, Dave Wildrick, Thomas, I'm not even going to try your last name, I'm sorry, but you're in 22nd, Mike Martin, Nicholas Broombridge, Nicholas Carangellen in 25th, Joseph Doria in 26th, Roland Krantz in 27th, and this is the beautiful thing, I have to flip the page because International GT is growing so fast with Chris Ruppel in 28th, Douglas O in 29th, Ron Kirshner in 30th. In 31st is Albert Lukazik. Sebastian Coppola in that white Ferrari, number 30 in 32nd. Joseph Rizzo in 33rd. William Wachs in 34th. Rocco Canada, 35th. John Alexander, first time with us in a Cayman. John Alexander's 36th. And Scott Welliver with Welliver Wines, 37th. Pace car pulls way ahead because Tom Pank wants to hold them way back. Advantage to him in that 4-0. Todd Sloan pulls next to him. Watch for that McLaren to pull out.
Yeah, he had a good race this morning, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in this. Just an exhibition, not part of the series. This is the International GT Series, racing 4 points. Tom Pank won the race this morning, but McLaren was right there in 3rd place. Here we go then, folks. Green flag waves. Beautiful sound. Pank holding off the field for now.
Mark Mathis side by side with Todd Sloan and David Tuati.
And here comes the McLaren.
On board, Geronimo Guzman. Now watch this going up this hill. Look at how difficult this looks.
Yeah. And you can hear him feathering the throttle, not going too hard.
You can't see in front of you. You just have to trust that the cars in front of you can see in front of them, which they can only see in front of them to the car. Geronimo Guzman working his way through the pack.
And into the bus stop for the first time, over the rumble strips.
Juan Gonzalez over Kyle there. Kyle Hogan.
Fantastic field of cars, really, really impressive.
Always great racing. That's James Hammond there in the 176, and Lucas Pank side by side out of the carousel as they come down to the boot. Look at that. Close wheel-to-wheel, door-to-door racing, but gentleman racing.
So the field spreading out already. Tom Pank leading the way as he did last time out. And look at the gap he's now managed to pull in just a matter of 1 lap.
Yeah, but never count Tom Pank out from maybe making a little flub up. And I say that with love. I love Tom Pank, one of my favorite people in the paddock. So, and Todd Sloan, I'm sure, knows that. So he's going to keep at it because Tom Pank, a really good driver, but it's getting late in the day.
Well, I think that's a sort of underrated rule of motor racing, which is pressure is pressure. Doesn't matter whether you're Max Verstappen or you're Tom Pank. If you can keep pressure on the guy in front of you, I'm not saying that that creates a crack, but it just gives you that margin of possibility.
Yep. Beautiful cars here.
If you've got to keep one eye in your mirrors, you can't be doing 100% concentration. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
Here come the Ferraris, the Maranello Cup and the Stuttgart Cup.
The fifth gear going up. Not feathering the throttle here. Full bore, full throttle.
Definitely.
Now it just came off of it just a little bit as he comes up to Lucas Pank. Lucas just graduated from Virginia Tech with an engineering degree. Doing really well. Tom Pank's son. Lucas behind that McLaren there. So we've got 2 young race drivers with their dads here this weekend.
Yeah, there's something about this sport, father and son. There's a lot of combinations.
Yep. Yeah, we had father and son on the Trans Am podium.
Yep.
Cary Grant and Milton Grant today. Ooh, getting a little bit sideways there on that downhill. That's a real tough corner to navigate.
Yeah, that was something that Boris was saying, that you don't really get a sense of the undulation and the downhill and uphill of this circuit, especially with the sun going down. It's a bit more dramatic when you see where the sun is when it's low, to see how the dips are and how the light is as well. But you really see it when you're on board, for sure.
That's his tequila company there. If you want some of the best tequila ever, Código, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, Provident Jewelers. As we look there at Juan Gonzalez from Mission Foods, followed by Kyle Hogan in that McLaren, Lucas Pank, and then Geronimo Guzman. Todd Sloan doing well. Mark Mathis, David Tuati, Juan Gonzalez in the 81, Kyle Hogan in that wide McLaren. Just look at how wide that car is. always impressed with this international GT field. Some really fantastic drivers. Bob Wyson, Ed Bouse ducking in there, Jeffrey Freeman. There's Hammond there in the 176, followed by the 163.
Yeah, and the level of drivers in this series, you can't be a fool and get in one of these. These are proper race cars, cup cars, you know, along Le Mans style, IMSA style cars. And, you know, you've got to know what you're doing around Watkins Glen in a car as powerful as these.
Uh-oh.
Slightly slower, though, some of the drivers, and creating a bit of a traffic jam there as the faster cars come through.
Yeah, and that's a Cayman, so, you know, it just doesn't have the power. And wisely, he's letting them go. I'm sure he's getting some blue flags. Somebody just off a flip. Car just flipped there. Ooh. Coming down, Lucas Pank, I believe.
Oh, no.
Lucas Pank just flipped coming down turn 6. We were just talking about how difficult that is to navigate. Hit the wall and flipped a few times.
Red flag, red flag.
Great shot by Logan. What red flag means is all of the drivers should come to a complete stop at the nearest corner worker station so that we can release the medical rescue crews out to help out our drivers as quickly as possible. There they are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Good stuff.
I think they're just frightened Logan.
Now that is Thomas Pank there ahead of, doesn't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, he's out of the car though. He knows something's not right. And quite rightly, red flag, give the safety workers every opportunity to get out there. Now we'll keep an eye on the lights.
All right, we're going back to green here, ladies and gentlemen. That's Tuwadi there behind Mark Mathis, followed by Todd Sloan, followed by Juan Gonzalez. This should be quite a battle here. And watch this now. Tom Pank's really going to back them up.
Yeah.
And he gets to set the pace, and he gets to decide when he wants to leave. So he's going to back them up and try to take off. Let's see what he does here, Jonathan.
It's the lean, mean green machine of the number 42 of Tom Pank, leading him out of the last corner and accelerating away. Halfway through this 8-lap race, we had a red flag due to a flipped car, and ironically, it's the father of that flipped car that is leading the race and dives into the first corner in style ahead of car number 77. And already building on that lead.
Based on how much time has elapsed, the conditions of the track have changed. The temperature has dropped dramatically. There is shade all over the track in spots, dropping the temperature.
Yeah.
Their cars are overheating because the cars stayed at idle too long, and now the sun is in their eyes at certain parts of the track. So
and this first
anything can happen.
Yeah, and the first lap, their tires won't be up to temperature, given that we just had a very slow lap. Whoa!
Robert Wyson on his buddy Ed Bouse, followed by Jeffrey Freeman in that Hertz car. This is some good racing.
Very good. Well, I'm glad they got to race. On with Guzman now. Sun going down, making it even tougher out there.
Yeah, watch this now. When he comes around this right-hander, right at the apex, the sun's going to be right in his eyes, right where you don't want it to be blind spot. Right there. Oh, that's
you literally
right at the apex is the blind spot.
See a thing then.
And it looked like it messed him up.
Him too.
Yeah. It changed. Just that little 20-minute or 10-minute stop is really going to change things.
Yeah. And into the toe they come and back up the hill now.
Oh, side by side.
I'm delighted to say that Lucas Pank is fine. We've had that now officially confirmed, so glad to say that he is A-OK after that big flip.
Cercely gets by Hammond there in the back in that green car, green Porsche. Look at this. I love the Watkins Glen fans just holding on to hope that this would restart, still up there in the bleachers.
Yep.
Jackie Stewart grandstands. Sir Jackie Stewart, I'm sorry.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, you better be careful. You won't get a free Heineken for that.
Yeah.
So once again, the field spreads out, but some great pockets of racing throughout this field in our last race of the day here at Watkins Glen.
that.
And using all the track and more.
Yeah. I'm liking seeing all these 4-liter Caymans. New to the series, racing in the Stuttgart Cup, putting on a great show here on the uphill S's.
And remember, they're racing for points for both the Stuttgart Cup for Porsches and the Maranello Cup for Ferraris.
And the Mission Foods for the
Mission
big
Foods
portion.
For
so the,
yeah.
the Stuttgart is just the Caymans.
Oh, okay, the Stuttgart just the Caymans,
Yep.
right? I got you.
And then the Mission Foods GT Trophy Cup is for all the iterations of what would be like 911s.
I see. Once again, down the hill, down towards the boot here at Watkins. Absolutely gorgeous evening here, and really getting to show off the beauty of Watkins Glen. Come back in a month or so and it'll probably be covered in snow.
Losing daylight.
Just a couple of laps to go though after this, and yes, the sun is dropping quickly, but there'll be enough time to get this race in.
So the LL sign is coming out this pass. Coming up the last lap, gentlemen.
Well, not an easy race for Tom Pank, his son flipping over, and he'll be aware of that, but he'll also have been given the okay, and that means he can go racing and concentrate on his job. You do not want to be distracted in a missile at 130 miles an hour.
No, look at these shots here. You can see inside the cockpit of the cars. You can see with their hands, you can see what their eyes are doing. Really good shots. There's our leader, Tom Pank, keeping it tight. He's got a lot on his mind right now. See if he can win this race. He's got a good gap to Mark Mathis.
So Tom Pank coming down to the boot for the last time, just a few. Coming down to the boot for the last time. Tom Pank comes out of the boot. We'll have that long straight and then just 3 clear corners to go. And I'll leave you with it, Ben, to call the action.
Oh, here we go. Tom Pank coming around. Hits the apex just right. Comes up. Coming up into turn 9. Really difficult because there's some bumps here. The light has changed. Look at all that shade, which means the track temperatures have changed quite a bit, but he pretty much now could coast in as we catch up to him. 2 more turns left, 1 more turn left. Mark Mathis in his rearview mirror is going to take the victory for the Pank family. Tom Pank, who's overcome some adversity this weekend, takes the victory, followed by Mark Mathis, followed by Dave Tuwati, Juan Gonzalez, Todd Sloan, Geronimo Guzman. Good stuff. Good finishes from everybody. That's Bob Wyson battling his buddy in that number 27, Ed Bouse, Jeffrey Freeman, Steve Katz, Brian Surserly, and there's Tom Pank. The number 24 ultra wide, ultra performance car coming in, probably hurrying in to figure out what's going on with his son Lucas as he waves to the corner workers. Here are the results. Tom Pank in first, Mark Mathis second, David Tuwati third, Juan Gonzalez fourth, Todd Sloan fifth, Geronimo Guzman sixth, Darius Trinka really showing us something here in seventh, Miller in eighth, Bob Wyson in ninth, and Ed Bouse in 10th place. So another great round. In 11th, Jeffrey Freeman all the way from Seattle. Steve Katz in 12th. Trinka in Saya in 13th. Brian Surserly in 14th. James Hammond in 15th. Roland Viet, our first Ferrari, in 16th. In 17th is Kobzinski, I hope, in the Porsche Cayman, our first Cayman for the Stuttgart Cup. In 18th is Nicholas Karengellen in the Porsche GT3. Groombridge in 19th and Ruppel Zitza in 20th.